Hey there, Savannah. How are you doing? I'm going to make you a video here, and it's going to teach you how to do alternative tunings and how to get there without a lot of struggle and without a tuner. And I think once I show you some of the theory behind it, just actually even just basically tuning your guitar, you will understand that you can tune your guitar to anything you want to. So I know you're working on a couple of songs, and we'll get to that. But I want to first, in order to get you to understand how to get to alternative tunings, you have to understand the basis of what the alternative tuning actually is. So let's just review really quickly the standard tuning. Okay, so we have to start the standard tuning. 6 strings. You have the E string, A, B, G, E, A, D, G, B, and E. Those are the open string notes. Now, when you're tuning, as long as you have one, you can get the rest. And I think you know that a lot of people show you between the 5th and the 7th fret, or just the 5th fret actually. But you can actually use harmonics to get it a little bit easier. So in the case of standard tuning, all the strings are tuned between the 5th and the 7th fret. And then the B string is between the 4th and the 5th fret. Little tougher to hit the 4th harmonic. Lots of people have struggled with that. Actually, see, that's a little bit too high, so I got to bring the B down. There, that's closer. Right? So that's your standard tuning. And you use the harmonics on the 5th and 7th fret. Pick any string. I usually start with the D string. Now, when you get done, you'll probably have to go through them all. Right? You have to go through them all, because when you torque on one string, it'll change the torque on the overall neck and will knock the other ones out of tune, especially if you'd go from a drop T, open D tuning to a standard tuning. The same thing applies going the other way. So right, so I don't know, you do a lot of stuff in here. This is Blackbird, right? So I don't know, there's tons of tunes. You've heard me do Led Zeppelin's Ramble On. So there's no preference. It's whatever the writer wants, whatever you want, and whatever it's done in is what you kind of want to play it as. I find trying to play something that's done in open tuning is very difficult trying to do it in standard tuning. It certainly doesn't sound the same, even if you nail it. So before I go, I just want to make sure. Okay, so we've covered all the bases there. The notes now for an open D tuning arrive from the D chord. So let me just turn the phone a bit so you can see my left hand. So the D chord, as you know, is here, right? So we want to get to the open D tuning. Well, how do we do that? Well, we have to recognize what the root notes are. And the root notes are F sharp, that's this one, 2nd fret 1st string, D, 3rd fret 2nd string, and then A, 2nd fret 3rd string, and then D is open and A is open. That's basically the root of your D chord and of the open D. You can also drop the F sharp here, right? So this is just a D inverted if you were to start from here, right? D is up here as well, I think, right? So anyway, that's your D chord. F sharp D, A, D, A, F sharp. But your key strings are D, A, D, and F sharp. Okay, so now how do we get to the open D tuning? I usually pick D string as the home string because it's so popular. The open, it's home to the standard and most open tunings that you're gonna stumble across. I'm not sure about all C tunings or F tunings. They may not have the D string as the open. It may be. I don't think you might have to go to a tuner, at least partially. But so to get to the open D tuning now, we know what we need to do. I'm going to start with here and go backwards up to the low strings. So I know that this one has to be A, because I said the two roots or the root strings are A, D, and F sharp. So that one's fine. This one though has to come down. That's E. So if I want to come down to D, I just put it to the 12th harmonic on D, which is up there. So 5th, 12th, 5th, 12th. So 5th, and then I'm going to drop it to the tone of the 12th. Pretty close. So now you've got the top three strings right here. Now, the F sharp is a little trickier. We're putting the F sharp on the G string. It's almost at F sharp. We just have to drop it a half the step. You can usually do it by ear. After a while, you'll get good and you'll get keen on it and you'll know. But for now, drop your finger to F sharp on the D string and drop your G string down to the F sharp on the D string. Still a ways to go. That's pretty close. A little bit more. All right, so the next one is this B has to come down to an A. Okay, so use the 5th harmonic on the A string and go down to the 12th harmonic on the B string and bring it down. That'd be pretty close. So now the last string, you got to bring the E down to the D. So D on the 5th fret harmonic and the harmonic on the 12th fret E string, and bring the two together. Full step. That's it. So you now have an open tuning in D, F sharp. Now another open D tuning is D, A, so D, A, D, and then this is back up to G. They call that dad-gad tuning. So, and a lot of Irish kind of jigs are done in this, and lots of great tunes are done in this, but especially if you capo it on the 7th fret. So anyway, but I'm going to take that back down to F sharp. Okay, so Joni's tune, without going into it deep, because I know you're working on it. Yeah, I think it's right, something like that. Rows and rows and rows of angels. I haven't worked on it much. I usually pick it instead of strumming it. But anyway, I'll let you play around with that. So now, let's say somebody says, hey, I want you to do something, but it's got to be in standard tuning. So you just reverse and go back to the 5/7. Use your D string as the root. Now the 4th, 5th on the B. And then 5/7 on the E. All right, so that is how you tune into an open tuning. Now I've got it set to another one, which is an open G tuning. And just so you know, the open G tuning is very much the same setup as the open D. That's the G chord in standard tuning. G, B, D, G, D, G, okay? So those are the root notes that you're gonna want in your open tuning. I'll just put that guitar away and pick this one up. Okay, so this is a guitar tuned in open D, open G, and you've heard me playing this a lot. The only one that I haven't, I haven't shown you the open tuning for the Rain song. Now the open G sounds a lot like the open D, but it's not. It's quite a bit different. But there's your G chord. So, and Joni does, what does she do in this one? She does the circle game. Oops, sorry. In the open D tuning, this sounds very much like the open D tuning with this configuration, but of course we're not in D, we're in G now, so that sounds like shit. So, but they are very similar, right? I don't know what else I do in open G. I don't do too much in open G, but that is another one of Joni's tunes. She does a lot of stuff in open G, open D, and standard tuning. So anyway, I don't know how long this is. It's 14 minutes. I gotta let it go. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got something out of it. It's a lot more longer than I thought it would be, but I think now you'll know how to zip around the open tunings and not be intimidated by them. Do not be intimidated by them. They are simple root configurations imposed on the open strings. That's all we've done. We've just changed the machine head tension to change what was an A chord, now into an open tuning, or a D chord, or in this case, the G chord, into an open tuning, right? So that's it, and love you, sweetheart. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.